Have a little look at the front page of some of the papers for you, starting with the Daily Mail. They say Boris, that's Boris Johnson of course, hit by a red wall MP's revolt. The headline there, the story is referring to the letter coordinated by a group of Conservative MPs demanding that the Prime Minister sets out a roadmap out of lockdown for the north of England.
The Times leads with the same story. It says the group led by Jayden Barrett has urged the Prime Minister to give priority to infrastructure projects in the north of England. In response, the Downing Street spokesman told the paper it was absolutely committed to levelling up across the country.
The Telegraph are leading on new research suggesting immunity to coronavirus may only last for a few months, which could mean that the successful vaccine might have to be administered twice a year.
And the most watched video on the BBC News website this morning is the story of former paratrooper John Breen, who jumped from an aircraft into the sea without a parachute in an attempt to break 2 world records. He's been given the nickname the Flying Fish after he dropped, I laugh because it's terrifying me, I'm about 130 feet, I don't know why I laugh when I'm terrified, from a helicopter off Hayling Island on the Hampshire coast.
It's probably a good thing to laugh when terrified.
Laugh in the face of danger. I'm not sure. I think it makes other people a little bit nervous when I do that, but yes. Well done him.
Victoria Derbyshire's on the front page of many of the papers this morning, and actually it's one of those stories where it's been in the papers and then she's already been on social media this morning to sort of add to the story. So the story is that she says she'll break the rule of 6 at Christmas. This is an interview she did in the Radio Times a few weeks ago saying if the rule of 6 is still in place, we're breaking it to have the rule of 7. We just are. And this morning she's been on social media to say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And she says she'll abide by whatever rules are in place on December the 25th. The Radio Times interview was a few weeks ago and she said she sort of misspoke. So she's been clearing that one up already.
What do you want? Do you want the pill that can banish snoring or the sea's biggest skyscraper?
Well, I don't think I snore. I'm
going to do the pill. It's been voted in the gallery and I've ruled you out anyway.
The pill.
I want to know about this pill. Oh, here we go. A pill that can be taken at bedtime could stop snoring for good, apparently. The new tablet eases the symptoms of obstructive sleep apnea. It affects up to 2 million people in Britain. I mean, does it affect 2 million? Is it also the people sleeping beside them as well? So, I'll just talking about the figures there. Up to 2 million people have it. It causes heavy snoring and sometimes interrupted breathing. And initial results from these clinical trials suggest the nighttime pill may ease these problems by up to 74%.
Excuse me, Louise. That came out of nowhere. I'll have to go and sanitise the entire area now. Right.
Luckily, you're over there.
Yes. Now, are you any good at art?
I have once painted.
OK, what about your children? And children
yeah, they're right.
Gifted? OK, have a look at this little lad. He's 5 years old, and now his mum. Every parent thinks their children are gifted and talented, don't they? But his mum has called him the next Picasso. This little lad is Jayden, and look at. Can you see his picture there? He's 5 years old. That is an autumnal scene which he's drawn.
Amazing.
It's
very like a photograph.
No, it's
I know, I'm not doubting it.
Yes, you're doubting its veracity. Here's some of his other artworks as well. And he's obviously got a bit of a gift, and people are already offering money to try and buy this artwork. Quite a few people on Facebook have said, we'll give 100 quid to charity for his autumnal landscape.
And let me quickly tell you about this amazing coral reef which has been found. It's taller than the Empire State Building, a natural wonder found in Australia's Great Barrier Reef, first to be discovered in more than 120 years. And it reaches 1,640 feet high, half a kilometre. Isn't that amazing?
So you gave me the choice of 2 stories, and in the end you gave them both.
Well,
this is beautiful.
I wasn't really giving you a choice.
No. Was it one of those fake choices?
It was which one first.
Right, okay.
We could have run out of time.
So essentially I had no choice.
We could have run out of time.
As the effects of the pandemic continue to affect jobs, Londoners working in many sectors are concerned as we head towards Christmas. It's usually one of the busiest seasons for tourism, but for this tour guide in Tottenham, the future is uncertain.
Now, it was a ghost city. We were hoping that it will be all right for Christmas holidays, that we can work in winter. But now it seems that we're not going to be working, so we can't see any future now. We don't know what's going to happen within 1 year.
A woman's been attacked by thieves who broke into her home in Basildon and stole 3 English bulldog puppies. She was sprayed in the face with a substance by the raiders who took the dogs on Friday night. Their owner is pleading for help in finding her pets.
Let's bring you a summary then of today's main stories. More than 50 Conservative MPs have written to the Prime Minister calling for a clear roadmap out of tough coronavirus restrictions.
The MPs who represent areas in the north of England, North Wales and the Scottish borders say the pandemic is threatening the government's efforts to level up the country. A Number 10 spokesperson said the government was committed to building back better after coronavirus.
Warrington has become the latest area of England to be put into the tightest coronavirus restrictions. The local authority will receive a financial package of almost £6 million to support businesses that have to close, including betting shops and soft play centres. Nottingham and 3 neighbouring boroughs will also be moved into Tier 3 from Thursday.
With just 1 week to go until the US presidential election, Judge Coney Barrett has been sworn into the Supreme Court after being nominated by President Trump. The timing of the vote has been criticised by the Democrats, who've argued that it should have been postponed until after the election, although her appointment gives the Conservatives a majority in court. Judge Barrett has maintained she will remain independent.
Immunity to coronavirus could only last a few months. This is according to new research. The team at Imperial College London found that levels of protective antibodies drop quite rapidly, which could suggest an increased risk of reinfection. More than 350,000 people in England have taken an antibody test as part of the study.
Mobile phone companies have been ordered to stop selling phones locked to one network. The regulator Ofcom says the move should result in better deals and less inconvenience for consumers. The firms have said they'll work with Ofcom to comply with its guidelines.